Hi there, my name's Nick. Throughout my life I've had a series of strange experiences, or things which I personally call strange experiences, which have led me to draw some conclusions. It's taken me a lot of soul searching to try and work out how to express the beliefs that I've developed in a manner which was honest, that wouldn't lead anybody astray, that wouldn't be detrimental to anyone else out there. It's taken me a lot of self-criticism and a lot of challenging my own ideas to reach this point of view of being able to be honest with you about where I'm coming from and what I think and how I feel I should be using the internet to try and communicate my ideas to the rest of the world. The earliest experience I had was way back at the age 4. I had a few more experiences during my childhood, which I'm sure I'll go into in later videos, as well as a whole barrage of them which happened in my adolescence, which had an impact upon the way in which I would perceive the development of my career. I've come to the conclusion, now I'm reaching the age 40 this very year, that there is a moral imperative to personal self-development, that there is consciousness outside of the physical, that consciousness itself can, under some strange circumstances, be transmitted over distance, that there is life after death of sorts, that we never will die, and that there is one larger consciousness of which we're all somehow a part, and also within this kind of sea of consciousness around us, there may well be other entities, some of which have a more positive nature, some may be a little bit more negative, that have an impact upon the world itself. Earlier in my internet career, I dedicated a lot of my time to trying to help people to feel confident about exploring these ideas using perfectly natural means to try and ascertain for themselves what these experiences could actually mean. It is my opinion that at some distant point in the future, all of this stuff which is currently called supernatural will one day be regarded as being natural and will be incorporated somehow into regular science. However, to date, the perpetual struggles and fights between all the various New Age religions as well as the Orthodox religions has prevented any real progress to try and bring about a time of real objective research and analysis of the supernatural. This places me in a rather awkward position, because I know full well that on one hand, on one side of things, spirituality is important. For some people it could even be essential for their personal growth, psychological well-being, and other things. But on the other hand, there is an actual real problem with spirituality's developing and preventing any form of real concrete scientific research into the phenomena in question. So we have to find some kind of middle road. The best terminology I have found, the best word which describes this, was deism, and the supernatural aspect of deism, or indeed the personal exploration into the supernatural, while still deploying reason and logic and doubt, was transdeism, or transcendental deism. And I do regard myself as more of a transdeist when I'm exploring these things than anything else. However, what I would like to do on this channel is to dedicate time to personal and self-developmental issues, to concepts surrounding spiritual beings, spiritual healing, different forms of therapies, as well as the actual and practical activities that any individual can do to help them to explore the supernatural for themselves. Now, obviously I'm using the word supernatural just to define a certain combination of phenomena, but, and if you think about this rationally and logically, if anything, and I mean anything, happens in the world, whether it's in the world of the mind, the world of the body, or the outside physical world, then it is happening in nature, and it is therefore natural by definition. There should be no separation between the apparently supernatural and the actually natural. Although this part here, which we call the supernatural, is poorly researched, poorly understood, and there's lots of issues surrounding the different worldviews which have generated surrounding supernaturalism. On one side of the spectrum, going off into out-and-out paranoia about evil spirits and demons, and on the other side of things, going towards the more rosy, pink expression of total divine love and peace, when essentially there may be a blend of the two happening somewhere in the middle, somewhere in the deist middle. And we can explore that through being transcendental deists. In my exploration of the supernatural, I've stolen ideas from spiritualism, Eastern thought, and Western occult practices in order to try and ascertain what I thought could possibly be true. I'll quickly caution you now that if you are looking into the occult or magic or the supernatural, or indeed aspects of personal and self-development to cure you miraculously by 9 o'clock in the morning of some incurable disease, you'll probably not find your answer here. But with wisdom, practicality, rationality, and a good bit of common sense, we can try and deploy these ideas to try and give you as an individual and myself as an individual a happier, more efficient, more effective life. There's all kinds of ideas in the world today. Anything from the law of attraction through to pendulum dowsing. And all of them have something that they can contribute, provided, of course, that we don't become dogmatic, we don't lose sight of skepticism and reason and rationality, and we don't become so skeptical that we stop being able to explore the phenomena in a manner which is intelligent and intuitive. Getting the balance right when we're being analytical is essential. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I look forward to bringing you an awful lot of good stuff which you're going to really enjoy and get something from. The experiences I had which have led me to my conclusions are real. They are real in the fact that I have had them, and I can sit here and I can report them to you and tell you that I've had them. The full ramifications of what they mean, I don't think we, at least in my lifetime, will ever properly understand or ever properly know. But we have to start somewhere. And we have to find ways of changing the cultures surrounding supernaturalism, paranormalism, and indeed some aspects of self-developmental based religions in order to come closer to the truth.